Today, Mr. Charles Dollfuss, the celebrated French aeronaut, made a balloon ascent on the occasion of the Royal Aeronautical Society's annual garden party. The balloon, which was conveyed from Paris especially for the occasion, was inflated with hydrogen by members of the Royal Air Force. Mr. Dollfuss, who was making his 295th ascent, him as passengers, a lady and a gentleman, also a photographer. The balloon, which took off soon after 6 o'clock in a high wind, was carried rapidly out of sight in a southwesterly direction.
Here we have a real veteran of the steel industry, the 3-ton stock converter. It's a dual-purpose furnace in which pig iron is first melted down and then converted into steel. The furnace is oil-fired. Fuel oil sprayed through these nozzles gives quickly and economically the very high melting temperature needed. A blast of air is applied and the oil supply regulated until the metal has melted. Now the charge is raked through to make certain that all the metal is molten. Then the oil tubes are removed and the converter is ready for blowing. Air at high pressure is blown across the surface of the molten metal and terrific heat is generated to burn away excess carbon in the iron. This is the critical stage. If too much carbon is left in, the steel will be too brittle. If too little, the steel will be too soft. Other materials have to be added to get rid of impurities in the metal. Finally, small amounts of special metals are put in to produce the particular alloy steel required. The stock converter, first installed in steel foundries on the northeast coast of England in 1908, has spread since then to many parts of the world, and today still plays a special role in the economy of the world's steel industry.
For a sea port to perish for lack of water is a queer thing to happen. But that's what very nearly did happen to the port of East London, South Africa, in the winter of 1949. For more than a year and a half, no rain had fallen on that coast, and as luck would have it, the new dam, which will one day solve all East London's water storage problems, was barely half completed. But just when the fate of the city port hung in the balance, the Athol Crown, a new oil tanker on charter to Shell, received orders to interrupt her maiden voyage to the Persian Gulf and to make all speed for Durban. A few days later, the tanker reached Durban and proceeded to load 3.5 million gallons of fresh water. She was ideal for the job. Her tanks had not yet held oil. Soon, her tanks full, the Athol Crown was on her way to the rescue of East London. Then, for 6 months, the tanker, shuttling between Durban and East London, kept the parched city going until the next rains came.
Liverpool, haven for the world's greatest ships. But to allow them passage, 10,000 tons of silt must be dredged between tides. This is Mersey 27, the latest type of grab hopper dredger. Her 3 grabs dump into a central hopper which holds 1,300 tons. It can be filled in 2.5 hours. The electric cranes are supplied with power from 3 generators driven by diesel engines. The propulsion electric motors can be used at the same time for maneuvering. When the hopper is loaded, it's full ahead for the dumping area, 6 miles offshore. Slow ahead. Stop. Let her go. In 10 seconds, over 1,000 tons of spoil go down through the hopper doors. Then back again to pick up one more load before the next time.